Hello and welcome to a new video, a new grammar series. It's me, Martin, and today we're going to be looking at how to teach the present simple. With this new series of grammar, I'm going to be looking at how to introduce certain elements of grammar, the activities to incorporate, comprehension questions that you could start asking, as well as common mistakes that learners may tend to make. And I've included a number of timestamps in this video, so please feel free to skip ahead. Anyhow, without any further delay, let's get started. What is the present simple and how do we use it? Essentially, the present simple expresses a general truth over a period of time, whether it's past, present, or future. Each way it's used changes the grammatical structure. If you're introducing yourself, such as I am an English teacher, we use the subject, the main verb, plus an object. Here are some other examples of introductory statements. If you would like to share a like or a dislike, we would use the following structure, such as I like pizza. And this has a subject, a verb, and an object. If we were to create a negative form, we would use the following: I do not like pizza. We would insert the auxiliary verb do not to make it into a dislike. Just be noted that do not is usually contracted in speaking for don't. Now, as a side note, the be verb can be used both as a main verb as well as an auxiliary verb, depending on how it's used. As a main verb, it complements an object or a noun, but as an auxiliary verb, it complements another verb. In the following statements, be is used as a main verb. Michael is a doctor. The flight to Germany is first class. Cheddar is a hard British cheese. Now, the following are examples of the be verb used as an auxiliary verb. It is made of thin plastic. Mariana is cooking pasta. Just be careful when introducing the be verb as a main verb as well as an auxiliary verb to students, because students will start to recognise that the be verb combines with the present continuous as well as a passive form. Now, the third use of the present simple is to express moods and emotions. It's very simple for other teachers to recognise how to express moods and emotions, but some examples could include I'm bored, it is cold, I'm tired. It's important for students to recognise that the expression of moods and emotions reflect current time. This is quite different to habitual moods and emotions. If we would like to introduce moods and emotions over a period of time, we need to start to introduce nouns and objects to the sentence. Just compare the differences between these two statements. 1. I'm bored. I'm bored of comedies. 2. It is cold at the moment. It is cold in the winter. 3. He's currently tired. He's tired of helping others. Nevertheless, this leads us naturally into the fourth use of the present simple. It's very common, particularly with the present simple, to talk about routines and habits, the sort of activities that people undertake frequently or every day. Common routines could include the following. 1. I wake up at 7 in the morning. 2. She starts work at 9 in the morning. 3. They have lunch at 1 in the afternoon. Notice the differences in these examples of the first and the third person. If we were going to change these habitual, frequent activities to a negative form, here is what we would include. I don't wake up at 7 in the morning. She doesn't start work at 9 in the morning. They don't have lunch at 1 in the afternoon. The auxiliary verb changes depend on whether it's first or third person. We obviously use the auxiliary verb in the negative form. When introducing any grammatical point, context is key. Here are 4 teaching ideas, depending on the situation of the present simple that you're going to be teaching, that you could incorporate into your next lessons. We'll start by introducing the present simple for self-introductions. Show a picture of a person to students which illustrates an identifiable job. Elicit possible statements from students, model in suitable language, introduce more pictures, and elicit more examples from other students. Try to provide corrections where necessary. Distribute new pictures to students, asking students to come up with their own ideas about these individuals and these pictures. Once students have written down some ideas of introducing these people, pair and group students up together. Ask students to introduce these people to their partners or small groups, using their notes where necessary. Finally, collect all the pictures from the students and then ask the students to introduce themselves to each other. Highlight the key language on the whiteboard, as well as all the key vocabulary and topics. It's a wonderful activity as a first lesson where students don't necessarily know each other. 2. Sharing likes or dislikes. Introduce a range of objects using flashcards where appropriate of common nouns such as pizza, strawberries, ice cream, smoking, running, and try and drill the language with the students. Nominate particular students to answer when you show a flashcard, and don't write up the key language just yet on the whiteboard. It's important for students to recognise the word and hear the word to pronounce it correctly rather than reading the word. Once students are comfortable with this new language, introduce a third person through a picture and place that person on the whiteboard. On one half of the board, draw a smiley face, and on the other half, draw a sad face. Place all the flashcards on the board under either a happy or a sad face and try to elicit a statement under each object using like or dislike. Next, write the phrase Sarah likes, Sarah doesn't like, and ask students to work together in pairs or small groups to write statements based on where the flashcards are located under either a smiley face or a sad face. Monitor the students whilst they're working through this, correcting where necessary or helping with spelling. Once students have gone through this and they've shared their own ideas, you could board up the example sentences for all students. As a final extension for this activity, you could ask students to share their own ideas and thoughts about the different objects and their likes and personal dislikes. Number 3, expressing mood. Prepare a range of flashcards of people showing and demonstrating a range of situations and their moods. Once you've prepared all the flashcards, show each individual flashcards to all students and elicit possible suggestions from the students. Examples could include she's angry, he's happy, they're hungry, etc. Once all the pictures have been placed on the whiteboard, point to each individual picture and elicit a response. Have a selection of different pictures and words all cut up, and students can play a game of Pelmanism. Pelmanism is a game where you match a word to a picture. If students match a corresponding word with the corresponding picture, they gain a point, and the students with the most amount of points at the end of the game are the winners. 4. Habits and daily routines. Elicit a story using a variety of different flashcards. Place them all on the whiteboard. You may want to add a time to each picture. An example of a story could be, Stephanie wakes up at 7:30 a.m. She gets up at 7:45 and has a shower and brushes her teeth. She gets ready at 8 o'clock and leaves home at 8:15. etc. Once you've gone through the whole story with the students, point to a picture and elicit a response from a nominated student. As a final activity, and one to extend this task, get students to retell their own personal daily routine. For lower levels, you could prepare a worksheet for students listing out all the daily routines where possible, which acts as a prompt. Monitor learners and provide feedback where appropriate. Here are some common comprehension checking questions, or CCQs, that you could incorporate when teaching the present simple. Example sentence number 1. Ingrid works at a hospital. Has Ingrid got a job? The answer, yes. Where does she work? In a hospital. Does she work on Monday? Yes, probably. Example sentence 2. Susan wakes up at 7. Is Susan awake at 6 o'clock? No. Is Susan awake at 8 o'clock? Yes. Does Susan wake up at 7 every day? Yes, possibly. Example sentence number 3. Stephen goes skiing every winter. Does Stephen like skiing? Yes. Does he go skiing in the summer? No. It's natural for learners to make mistakes, particularly when they're introduced to new language, and it's part of the process of learning. However, there are many issues that may arise when you're teaching the present simple. These could include students not using the be verb, such as he nurse, students constructing a question with the do verb, do you be happy? Subject and verb forms, not agreeing, you is a teacher, he am a doctor. Be aware of these potential issues, as this will help you as a teacher, and it will also help when it comes down to correcting students and highlighting certain issues that may arise with certain learners. Okay, there we are at the end of today's episode of Grammar Teaching Series. Please let me know if you enjoyed it by hitting that like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. When you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I upload a future video. And in terms of a future video, let me know what sort of grammar series you would like. I'm more than happy to accommodate any requests that you may have. As ever, take care and happy teaching. Bye bye.